Hi everybody and welcome back to Underdog's Factory. My name is Tristan and today we're going to be talking a little bit about AdSense. Now, for those of you who don't know, AdSense kind of sucks. When you look at the big YouTubers, or at least the people who are able to make a full-time level of income off of YouTube and who are doing it professionally, typically AdSense only makes up about 5 to 10% of their total income. It's kind of a nice little bonus, but it's not a lot. And especially when you consider things like the Admageddons that have happened or the Adpocalypses that have happened, it's not a great idea to put too much emphasis into an income stream that you can't control. And so that's one of the reasons that we don't typically like focusing on AdSense as a way of making money on YouTube. It's just kind of like an extra bonus. I used to buy video games, just that kind of stuff. But that being said, a lot of people are really interested in it. That seems to be the only thing that they care about. They're getting to the 1,000 subscribers, the 4,000 hours of watch time, just so they can start making $2 for every 1,000 views that they get on YouTube, or less. And so what we're going to try and do in this video is we are going to talk about AdSense, how it works, what all the different parts and pieces are, and what you can do to actually generate more ad revenue with your channel through AdSense. Which makes me sad. Please don't make me do this anymore. So, the first thing we need to understand when it comes to AdSense is the AdSense ecosystem. What are all the different parts and places? The first platform that we need to be aware of is something called Google Ads, previously known as AdWords. Google Ads is where advertisers can go and buy ad space on Google properties. So, in Google Search, on Google Display Ads, which would be like blogs on websites and on YouTube, and of course, video ads, which primarily run on YouTube. Now, once an advertiser is on AdWords, then what will happen is they will put together their campaign, say, okay, I want to target this audience in this location at these times. I want to target these keywords, or I want to target these interests, and I am then going to, and this is how much I'm willing to spend, all right? Which is going to be how much they're willing to spend per view, per click, per conversion, or whatever. Now, the amount that they're willing to spend is going to depend on their conversion rates, so how many people who visit the website actually end up buying or doing whatever they want them to do, and how much that potential client or how much that lead is worth to them. So, for example, I've run campaigns for dentists. The lowest cost product they have was $2,000. And so if we had a conversion rate that was pretty high, well, actually it was ridiculously high in this campaign, but say we had it was like 5%, right? So that means that every 100 people who visit the website, I'm expecting to get 5 of them to actually go in to buy this thing. And that means that for every 100 clicks, I'm expecting to make, what, $10,000. And then there's some math that goes into that, but basically it's however much it costs to sell the product versus how much you actually make from that sell in profit. Now, the thing you got to keep in mind is that different categories are going to be worth different amounts of money. So, for example, I have a tech channel on YouTube, tech marketing, right? Where I talk about website builders, we talk about SEO and that kind of stuff. And the value that I can get out of that channel is way higher than I can get off of something like gaming, because the people who are in that space are a lot more active. They're also a lot more likely to go out and to buy something. And the things that they buy are either going to be more expensive, or they're going to be like a subscription-based thing. Or it's going to be like a way to get somebody into a list that way they go and buy more stuff in the future. A lot of my clients will start out being like relatively low-end projects, so like something in the $100, $200, $500 range, and then I have other things that can grow into $10,000 a month. And so if I know that I can make 10 grand a month off of this lead, then I'm going to spend a lot more money to acquire that lead because I really want that lead. And so because of that, the amount that people are willing to bid for my traffic is going to be a lot higher. Now, the second half of the AdWords platform is going to be AdSense. AdSense is the platform that takes the money that the advertiser spends on AdWords and then divides that between Google's properties, so like, YouTube and Google and all the other stuff, and the creator. Now, typically, with AdSense, the split's going to be like 60-40, where 40% goes to Google, 60% goes to the content creator. That's actually different on YouTube. We don't have the exact number, but figures can be something along those lines. Probably 50-50 is going to be a little bit closer. YouTube is very expensive for them to run and to maintain, and so they do take a little bit more out of that than they would take, for example, if you had just ads running on your website. Now, let's take a step back and look at gaming. With the gaming space, typically your CPMs aren't going to be very high unless you're like famous, because advertisers are just going to be trying to target anybody within that specific group. They're not trying to target your specific traffic. Whereas if you look at like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or anything like that, people are trying to reach their specific audiences, and so their CPMs are going to be a little bit higher. But I mean, think about it. How much do you spend on average per year in gaming stuff? Like maybe a new game every month. So you're talking about, what is that, $740, $720 per year, which isn't a lot when you're comparing that to a client who could potentially paying, several $1,000s a month. Or, say you get a new gaming computer once every 5 years, right? And say like this computer over here cost me $2,500. So every 5 years is giving me like basically $500 worth of computer. And so again, those price points aren't very high unless you get into like the very high end stuff, unless you get into things like virtual reality or those kinds of peripherals. And so that's when prices start to go up. And because those prices go up, because that audience is going to be more interested and engaged in that particular type of product, more interested in actually buying the thing, then ad rates are going to go up because more people are going to be trying to reach that audience, more people trying to reach the audience, more competition, higher bidding, just like any other kind of auction. So now that that's been explained, the next thing we need to talk about is how we can actually go through and manipulate our own content in order to better increase our ad revenue, right? In order to kind of increase those numbers just a little bit. So there are a couple tips I'd like to give you guys first off. The first thing is that the most valuable demographic in the gaming space is going to be middle-aged guys. I say middle-aged, so talking 20 to like 40, so kind of in the age range that I'm in, because typically we have the most, what's the word I'm looking for here? Disposable income. And we kind of have a little bit more expensive taste in games. And that means that we can kind of go out and, we can spend a little bit more money on our video games as long as our wives don't find out. Or like a lot of times at these age ranges, we'll start to have kids and have like older kids. I don't, I just have a beagle. But then we can start using the kid as an excuse to buy more video games. And so when it comes to targeting an audience within the gaming space, kind of like this age group is going to be the best one, like you said, especially guys, and especially in the US because we tend to be very, very comfortable making online purchases. Now, this has been expanding a little bit because everybody's been in lockdowns and all this other stuff, and so more people are making purchases online. But typically speaking, American guys between, like I said, 20 and 40, 20, 35 are going to be the most valuable audience for gaming content on YouTube. Now, that being said, just because the one audience is going to be worth more in general doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the best audience for you to target. Now, the reason why is because they're going to be advertisers who want to reach very specific audiences, who want to narrow that down. And if you can be the person for a very narrowed down audience, that again is going to make you and your content a valuable place to run their advertisements. So, for example, say that you're targeting early 20s young women playing video games, right? So, like, we saw like the pink bunny earphones and that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of dumb, but white towers seem to be the big thing. So if you can create content that speaks very specifically to that audience and resonates with that audience and is able to, to connect well with them, and in order to bring that audience in repeatedly, and especially if that's an audience that's going to be interested in purchasing things, even though your numbers are your cost per click or your cost per mil, your CPMs are going to be lower, potentially, you're actually going to get a lot more traffic in order to compensate for that. And the reverse of that is true. If you wanted to go after the dude that's between 20 and 30 or whatever, your CPMs might be a little bit higher, but you're going to get lower views. Or you can reverse that. You can get a lot more views at lower CPM, and it'll kind of balance out. So like there's not one that's specifically better than the other. It's just a question of learning how to niche down a little bit. So first thing we need to do, like I said, is just figure out who our audience is and what audience we want to reach. And we do that looking through our analytics. We go through the audience tab. It's going to show us gender. It's going to show us location. It's going to show us languages. And it's going to show us some other interesting information that we can use to kind of figure out who's actually watching our videos, especially in kind of like a general sense. The next thing that we want to do is we want to target higher value keywords when we're creating our content. Now, don't let this supersede or negatively affect the content that you're creating for your audience, okay? Like, you don't want to target a keyword that might get you an extra $1, but then you'll lose out on a potential 100 subscribers. But it is good when there's a lot of correlation and where there's a lot of overlap and where you're able to incorporate some of those higher traffic keywords or higher cost keywords, because then you're going to be able to continue creating good content for your viewers while also kind of increasing your monetization by just a little bit. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this and find this information. My personal favorite tool is called keywfinder.com. It is a paid tool. I'll see if I can find a coupon for you guys and leave that for you in the description. It's really, really good. It's very easy to use and it's very effective. We used to be able to use the Google AdWords planner, the keyword planner, but they've actually made some adjustments to that. So you need to be spending at least I think it's like $10,000 or something, or a few $1,000s in your account in order to get the actual real traffic data and the cost per click from what people are willing to spend on average in those bids. And so that used to be a really good tool, but unfortunately now it's not great. If you do go out and look for something, what you're looking for is a keyword research tool that will also show you the average cost per click, or CPC, for that specific keyword. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a combination of high traffic and high cost per click, because that means that that's the video or that's the topic or the keyword that has the most financial potential for you to make some money off of it. Now, once you have discovered some keywords that you like, and once you have the audience in mind that you're trying to reach, the next thing we need to do is we need to actually make videos. Okay, the more videos you make, the more opportunities you're going to have to rank into bringing that traffic. Don't want to upload everything out at once. Try and space things out, give things some time to breathe, especially when you're talking about like the recommendation and the home page algorithms on YouTube. Give things a couple of days between you upload videos, but try to be consistent, and try to be consistent with the type of content that you're uploading, because we want YouTube to recognize your channel as being the channel that talks about the specific thing. So that way, when an advertiser comes to buy ad space trying to target that audience, then they already know that you're reaching that audience, and you're that's you. And so you can go and you can get that ad spend a little bit more easily. And then of course we want to just make sure we're optimizing our videos correctly. So again, if you're targeting a specific keyword, then we want to make sure that we are using that keyword in the title, in the description, in the tags, and everywhere else. This is one of the places where we actually still kind of use tags a little bit, just because we want to make sure YouTube really, really understands, or more specifically AdSense, we want them to really, really understand that, this is the video's topic, right? This is what we want the video to be about. And of course, try to use the keyword in the video itself. Say it somewhere like how to increase your YouTube CPMs in gaming, because YouTube is also going to be looking at the closed captioning of your videos, and that's going to help them determine where to place these ads. And then finally, just make sure you're actually talking to the audience. If you're trying to target guys between a certain age, there are going to be things that are going to be more appealing to them. Okay, we're not talking about putting like half-dressed people in your thumbnails, but there's going to be a certain level of maturity that they're going to be looking for. I don't watch videos where they have some kid come out and like, oh, super excited, wow, look at this really cool Minecraft thing, this is so great. Dude, I'm 34. I don't need people screaming at me about the cool thing they found in Minecraft. I just want to learn how to make the stupid chicken cooker thing. Just leave me alone, right? And there's a lot of memes out there like that as well. But, it's just one of the things that we want to keep in mind when we are creating our content. Like, who's the audience? Who are we making the videos for? Who's watching the video, right? And then we talk to them in a way that makes sense. And we talk to them in a way that they want to be spoken to. Most of my viewers here on this channel, 25 plus, mostly dudes, mostly guys, right? I think we have like a 5-10% female audience. Love you ladies, glad you're here. But typically, that's the kind of audience I'm going to be trying to reach. And so, I'm talking to you guys like adults. I'm talking to you like you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not assuming that you're stupid most of the time. And of course, you might notice some subtle nods to retro gaming things here on the channel and in my content. And so by doing this, you're going to be able to increase your CPMs a little bit. That is how YouTube AdSense works. That's how you can kind of manipulate some of that revenue a little bit. There are going to be other spaces that make more money, but don't just make a YouTube channel for the sole purpose of making money, unless you're doing this full time like I am. I have quite a few channels whose only purpose in life is to make me money. And I love them. I actually have fun with it. But, it's fun for me to go out and do these kinds of things. And if it's not fun for you, or if you're not seeing results from it, you're going to burn out really fast. You're going to lose interest. And then you're just going to waste time and money and energy on something that's not actually going to be helping you very much in the long run. If that is what you want to do, then I highly recommend tech. I highly recommend business services. So again, talking about like online marketing, talking about website builders, talking about search engine optimization, all that kind of stuff. And what's also cool about that is that you also have a lot more opportunities for affiliates, marketing, and for sponsorships, and even for creating and selling your own products and services, which is always great. And so I have 5 seconds before you end the video. There's another video popping up here on screen. It's probably the one that's talking about how to make money playing Pokemon, which I thought was really, really cool. I spent a long time working on it, so go watch that one. Conversely, YouTube's also going to recommend another video that you guys should watch here on the channel right now. So watch that one too if it's more interesting for you. Have fun. Bye.